Excretion is the removal of waste from an organism such as a plant, animal, or single-celled organism. There are different types of excretion. Sweat excretion. Whoa. Oxygen excretion. When a plant photosynthesizes, sugar and oxygen is produced. Oxygen will leave the plant as a waste product. Oxygen! Water excretion occurs in both plants and in humans. In plants, this occurs when a plant goes through cellular respiration. Water, along with carbon dioxide, will leave the plant. Water! Drug excretion, the removal of drugs from one's body. Single-celled organisms excrete by diffusion, directly through the cell membrane. No specialized organs are used, unlike humans who have the liver, kidney, lungs, and skin. Osmoregulation is the regulation of fluids and salts in an organism's body. Sweat excretion typically occurs when your body gets too hot. To return to homeostasis, the body must sweat to cool down.
An example of osmoregulation is a freshwater fish. A marine fish has an internal osmotic concentration lower than the surrounding seawater, so it tends to lose water and gain salt.
Waste! Oh my gosh, Reese, what do you think you're doing?
I just came in to ask about nitrogenous waste.
Oh yeah, because that's a valid reason to disturb someone's excretion of nitrogenous waste. Please. So first, there are 3 types of nitrogenous waste: ammonia, urea, and uric acid. Number 1. Ammonia. It is most commonly excreted by aquatic species. This is because ammonia can be tolerated only at very low concentration, which means animals that excrete ammonia need access to lots of water. Okay, moving on. Number 2, urea. It is usually excreted by terrestrial animals and marine species that lose water to their environment, like amphibians, sharks, turtles, and humans. This is because they don't have access to enough water to routinely produce ammonia. The advantage is its low toxicity. The disadvantage is the energy cost. Listen. Last but not least, uric acid. It is excreted by insects, land snails, and many reptiles. It is relatively non-toxic and doesn't really dissolve in water. This is an advantage for animals with little access to water, but it is more energetically expensive to use than urea. Now would you excuse me, please? All done. Time to wash my hands because I gotta sanitize. And now on to kidneys.
Kidneys are bean-shaped organs that direct blood, they balance fluids, and they filter out waste. Blood goes into the kidneys through arteries. After that, the glomerulus and tubule, which make up nephrons, sift through the blood.
Nephrons figure out what to do with the waste. First, the glomerulus acts as a filter and sifts out the minerals and vitamins to be passed through the tubule. The tubule then detects which minerals and vitamins are needed in the body. If they are needed in the body, they will be reabsorbed to be circulated back into the blood. Tubules also sense the compounds that aren't needed and redirects them through 2 long tubes that connect the kidneys to the bladder called ureters. Urine is made up of urea, nitrogen, potassium, calcium, and water. Urea is produced by the liver and gives urine the yellow color. Too much nitrogen, potassium, and calcium could cause problems. Lastly, water makes up 95% of urine. When water level in your body is too high, more water is excreted, which is why your pee is less yellow. And if it's too low, the pee is more yellow because there's more urea. When the bladder is full, urine is released through the urethra. Fun fact, about 180 liters of blood is filtered through the kidneys every day.
There are many different environments in the world in which vertebrates have to adapt their kidneys to their environments. Variations in nephron structure and function equip the kidneys of different vertebrates for osmoregulation in their various habitats. Mammals that excrete the most hyperosmotic urine have exceptionally long loops of Henle. This makes their urine very concentrated. However, nephrons with short loops make lower concentrated urine. For example, birds like mammals have kidneys that specialize in conserving water. However, the nephrons of birds have much shorter loops of Henle than do mammalian nephrons. This means they actually make very low concentrated urine. And since they don't have a bladder, their urine actually mixes with their poop. In contrast to mammals and birds, a freshwater fish must excrete excess water because the animal is hyperosmotic to its surroundings. Instead of conserving water, the nephrons produce a large volume of very dilute urine. Freshwater fishes conserve salts by reabsorption of ions from the filtrate in the nephrons. Oh no. Okay.